Hey everybody, welcome back to Disney Sorcerer's Arena. So I was thinking, last week during on Wednesday when we usually get the updates, this is Friday, so it was 2 days ago at this point. Good old community manager Meathead Militia put out, there will be no content update this week. Stay tuned for exciting updates next week. Oh yeah. And then he goes on to talk about, hey, we're putting in a hot fix for gold tier, and those who purchase gold tier pass holder, blah blah blah. So a while ago I did who's coming after Maleficent, because at this point it's been, Maleficent was what, middle of October, and it's been 3 entire months, almost 4 since then, and or it will be, basically next week it will be 4 months since the Maleficent update, and I was like, and I've been on the thing ready for Winnie the Pooh, and I still think Winnie the Pooh is coming this week. Well, maybe not this week, but sooner rather than later. I would love it if it was Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and Eeyore, and I think there's like 10 or 11 potential characters we could get there. I think if they did do Winnie the Pooh, I think I've talked about this before, where it would be something similar to how they did Mickey originally with the Sensational Six, where they released, three characters, and then later on they came back and introduced a couple others. But it's like, how do you pick who you're going to take from Winnie the Pooh? Obviously, Pooh would be the legendary, and then I think there's some characters you have to have: Tigger, Piglet, Eeyore, Rabbit. I would love it if they did Kanga and Roo separately. Then of course you got Owl, Christopher Robin, Digger, and maybe even the Huffalump. Is that it? But I think Christopher Robin's integral. Rabbit, Eeyore, Piglet, Tigger, and Pooh would be the core of the group, I think. But I mean, potentially they could go huge, because we don't, in terms of every other faction, we have a minute amount of wild characters, and we really need some. And Wild was the first legendary, and then they haven't touched it since they did put in Frank and Lily a couple months ago. But other than that, we haven't got anything Wild related. After that, obviously talked about how much I love Alice in Wonderland, particularly the Mad Hatter and March Hare. I think they would be great. Any of Alice in Wonderland, other than in addition to Queen of Hearts, would be huge. But in terms of, I think I've talked about how I think that Inside Out would be great. Obviously, they've already got Anger and Jangles in the game, and so I definitely think that there'll be something. I think that Zootopia could be something. DuckTales, if they wanted to add to Scrooge, if they brought in Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Magica, but they've just been going off what they've gone off the surveys. The last, they introduced, they talked about Atlantis on a previous survey. They talked about Hercules on a previous survey way back. They talked about everybody in the game. They've mentioned on a previous survey, and they've just gone down the list regardless of priorities. They talked about the gummy bears on a previous survey, and I think that would be awesome, of course. But somebody I think that could be that. I don't know how soon they can get it in, but given the given the magnitude and full disclosure, I have not seen this movie and the entirety of it. Then again, I've not seen Frozen in its entirety, but Encanto or Encanto or whatever. Um, just the I saw that the song, what is it? We Don't Talk About Bruno is now more whatever than Let It Go was back in the day. So I think, maybe by the end of the year, maybe sooner. I could be crazy. We could be looking at this thing in summer. Or, I don't know if they've got the assets going on. Maybe we could be looking for it sooner than that. I don't know. It all depends on what the devs want to do. But, and hey, I just finished Prince Eric, by the way. Yay. Live on screen. See her first. Encanto's got to be coming soonish, I think. So, I think there's a high probability that Winnie the Pooh, the gummy bears would be huge. I think Alice in Wonderland, I would love. They feel like they got to do it. Inside Out, Zootopia, and Encanto. Encanto would be the one I would probably look for to be the furthest away. But I don't know. But I don't remember. They talked about the Seven Dwarves on surveys before. They talked about the gummy bears. They talked about a lot of characters on these surveys. So the next time that a survey comes around, maybe consider taking screenshots or writing down who they talked about, because they're not going to come right away. But I think they talked about Atlantis. I think the last survey that we did a couple months ago was like the fourth survey that they've done. So they usually do one, I don't want to say every 6 months, but maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe 6. I don't know. But they usually run through and give us a bunch of characters. But at this point we haven't had anybody new since November. The last legendary, of course, was Mystique. The last characters we got were Mike. So we're due. We're definitely due. It's definitely going to be something huge. So if you have the means, get ready. If you're saving Wilds tokens, go for it. Good for you. If you're saving downtown tokens, good for you. If you're saving, at this point, I don't think you would. I don't necessarily think you need to save Kingdom or Oceanic or Mystic tokens. But downtown is always safe, because literally they could put anybody downtown. Cars downtown. I think if they went Great Mouse Detective, I think they would be downtown. But if I'm putting my money, I'm saving wild stuff and downtown stuff. Either because if it's downtown, they're gonna come up with a downtown villain. But who knows? Anyway, guys, this is just something I want to talk about. If you think I'm crazy, please let me know. If you have a hunch of who you think they would be nuts not to do, let me know. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Till then, I'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.